Welcome back to the PigSkin podcast. This is season 2, episode 6. This will be our college football week 3, NFL week 2 preview. As always, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, share. And we're just going to go ahead and hop right into it. It's a little bit later in the week than we had initially anticipated. Busy fucking guys. But before we hop,
We're
because
watching film.
obviously we're watching film. I've been doing homework. Before we hop into the OU Tulane game, do you want to hit on the game that just ended here on is it Freaky Friday? It's Friday the 13th. So, shit's bound to happen. UNLV just went into Kansas and beat them. We were talking just a little bit before we got started. You mentioned you've been high on UNLV really ever since last season. And so, the Rebels, man, they look like a pretty good squad. They've already beat Houston, which, in my opinion, after watching them last Saturday, they might be a top 5 team in the country. Just the way that they were able to stone Oklahoma. I think that they are just a fantastic program. They're just amazing at everything that they do. Willie Fritz really has that thing rolling. Yeah, exactly. Right now, Kansas State is up on Arizona 28-7. We'll continue to monitor that in case anything crazy happens. Just going to go ahead and jump right into it. Obviously, us, as always, are you guys. We got Tulane on the dock this week. Mensa and the boys are coming into town, bringing Mario Williams back for his return to Norman. And it's going to be a tough game, man. Tulane has one of the best, most efficient offenses in the country. They took Kansas State down to the wire. We're winning for the majority of that game. Have a really great coaching staff.
We're missing the most important part.
What's that?
The uniform matchup.
The uniform matchup is sick.
Yeah,
it is sick.
I hope they wear their all blues. That'd be sick.
Well, they're going blue, white, blue.
Just blue, white, blues. Just do all the all blues. Come on, we've got the red.
Just a color on color matchup.
Yeah.
Okay.
What are the color rush?
I can get behind it.
Yeah.
God, the color rush is awful.
Let's have a nice old fashioned color rush game.
Yeah, no, let's not do that. Coming in, Oklahoma is favored under 13.5, total of 46.5. It's gonna be a hot day in Norman, getting up into the 90s.
Bet that cover. Take that cover for Tulane.
You think so?
Yeah.
No, I definitely hammer the under. Well, maybe not the under, because Tulane might put up 46 on not on our defense, but Tulane has a very, very potent and balanced offensive attack. They run the ball well. They like to get into wide zone a lot, try to really work the perimeter. Undersized, but really fucking fast offensive line. Something I noticed watching Tulane. They come off the ball and just smack you. And they're not the biggest, most powerful dudes, like I said, but they are fast, man. And they really, really like to work with those agile offensive linemen. Like I said, getting out in space, creating space. They like to open up lanes for cutbacks for the running backs. A lot of side-to-side stuff, but they can also attack you downfield. Mario Williams, 10 catches, 252 yards. That's a 25-yard average per reception. Is it Darian Mensa? Is that his name? I keep wanting to call him Drew. Yeah, Darian Mensa is redshirt freshman, but he is fantastic, man. He's got mobility. He's got a cannon for an arm. He's highly accurate down the field. It's just going to be a really, really good test for OU before they go and play Tennessee next week. And, this is the week that OU needs to get things right on the offense. They need to inspire confidence in that offense, the offensive line, and Jackson Arnold in the running game. And the receivers, Nick Anderson's been practicing this week. Hopefully he plays. There's been no designation yet. Wouldn't expect much out of Angelo Anthony. But yeah, man. Getting into this, what are your initial thoughts on Tulane?
They look good. Nothing absolutely blows me away. Their quarterback's good. Oklahoma's defense should be able to handle them. I know they're fast and they can be explosive at times, but it's going to be tough for, I know they've got, like you said, undersized fast linemen, and they do very well in their scheme, running the ball. But when you've got a defense like Oklahoma with just more talented players, it shouldn't be an issue, at least controlling the run. they might be able to hit some deep passes. I mean, so don't, you can't freak out. I mean, you absolutely can't freak out. The first deep pass that they hit, I'm going to freak out. But I mean, that's just part of the game. I mean, their quarterback's a stud, and Fleming. I mean, he's a good wide receiver, so they're going to hit a deep pass on him, especially if there's a busted coverage. But I mean, you know, uh, it's the offense that I'm more worried about, and Jackson Arnold in the offensive line in the run game. We should be fine.
Think so?
And then as I say that, we're gonna be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Yeah. Well, what worries me the most is
being able to run the ball.
Well, yeah, being able
Jackson
to run the
Arnold's
ball.
going to be able to. I mean, he's going to do his thing. He's going to be able to sling the rock, but you got to be able to run the ball and set up play action and get more guys to commit to the box.
Well, yeah, but defensively, at least, what worries me is with Tulane's speed, especially up front in their front five. There's guys like Jaden Jackson and Grayson Halton that have really good lateral quickness. But guys like Demonic Williams, they might be able to reach him. You know what I mean? And so it's going to open up lanes for linebackers. Danny Sunsman and Kip Lewis should fly around. Tulane's weaker at tackle than they are on the interior of the offensive line.
Well, that's the thing is you just got to catch Darian Mensah off guard. I mean, you throw pressure at him, something that he hasn't seen. Imagine it's going to be tough for him when a lane opens up and they have a blitz, whether it's Kendall Dolby or imagine Danny Stutzman or big Colby McKenzie coming right down your throat. It's going to be, I mean, that's just going to be tough for a freshman quarterback, especially if he's rattled early. So just dial up the blitz, stop the run. I mean, you've got one of the best guys that can hold point in Dominic Williams. I mean, in the country, in my opinion, he may not be the most explosive pass rusher, but it's hard to move him off the ball.
No, for sure. And I definitely think our defense will be very successful. I just think Tulane poses the most potent and dangerous offense. Yeah, the most threatening offense that we faced. And it's good because defensively you've seen them be great and you've seen them be dominant, but they're stepping up in intensity each and every week. And next week is the ultimate culmination of it, right? Tennessee. Everyone wants to look ahead to Tennessee with how bad the offense has been. Most Oklahoma fans have really dialed that back, and now we're looking at Tulane as a real serious contender here to come into Norman and rock us. But
what time is it?
2:30. 2:30. So I have an hour and a half to get off work, get home, and get hammered before the game starts. And I'm gonna be very wise with my time.
Just make sure you drink and drive.
Yes, that's the most efficient, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm packing my work backpack full of beers, and Johnny would be doing the exact same thing, anyways.
No, I miss Johnny. He would. Anyways,
but I do think this is a get right game for Oklahoma's offense. Right, this is the game where they need to come in. They need to set the tone early. They need to be physical, and they need to run the fucking ball. They need to open up lanes. I think Javonte Barnes needs to get the bulk of the carries. He might not be the most flashy running back, but he's going to run downhill, and he's going to try to knock a motherfucker's head off, and that's exactly what we need. We need him to run through somebody, get this offense a little bit of juice, get this offense going, and just start clicking fucking plays off. And this is a perfect chance. You build confidence now. You have a good week of practice. Then you look into Tennessee. Albeit OU wins this game, obviously, hopefully. But this is a turnaround game for Oklahoma's offense. Defense, I expect dominance. I expect him to be great. I expect him to hold Tulane to under 20 points. And I'm hopeful the offense can hit the 30-point mark.
Well said.
So I'm expecting OU to win. I'm obviously going to pick Oklahoma to win. I'm never going to pick them to lose no matter who we're playing. But this week, I think it's a get-right game for Oklahoma.
What if they play Georgia?
Ride or die.
Yep.
I won't put money on it, but I'll pick OU to win.
I like that. Well, a real fan would put money on it.
No, a dumb fan would put money on it.
Yeah, like myself.
Yeah, I don't have money to put on it. So it's also illegal to sports bet in Oklahoma. I don't do that. Don't look at my Bovada account.
Well, just hypothetically.
Yeah,
I was speaking in hypotheticals.
Yeah, of course.
I'm really nervous that Jackson Arnold's going to get benched this game because you see Oklahoma. Twitter's tumultuous. They're saying Michael Hawkins next Caleb Williams situation. it starts to get to you, especially when you're a fan. You're like, well, what if they do bench Jackson Arnold? Like, of course, that's a thought that goes into my head, but yeah, he's just gonna have to play. He's gonna have to make the right decision, and he's gonna have to prove it to Oklahoma fans because we've been spoiled with quarterback play.
Yeah,
and so.
Did you watch any? So there are plenty of videos that came out from industry experts. So Cole Kublik put out a video this week talking about the OU game. He goes through and he ranks every SEC
Cole
game.
Kublik.
He had a lot to say about OU. Had a lot of good to say about Jackson Arnold. Aaron Murray, former Georgia quarterback,
He just didn't throw the ball very well last week, and I'm hoping that was just jitters.
He didn't throw with confidence was the big thing that stood out to me.
You think it's because they can't run the ball and he's like afraid that he has to do it all himself?
I think he's more so afraid that he's going to get the ball in his hands and get put on his ass because he doesn't trust the offensive line right now.
Yeah.
Speaking of offensive line, Eddie Pierre-Louis officially got put into the due deep on the official depth chart, more so due to Garen Hatchett's injury, but whatever it may be, he is officially the two deep or the backup right guard. But yeah,
doesn't Tulane have like a 300-pound linebacker?
Yeah, he's 270 something, but he's fucking massive.
That's crazy.
And I would love to see a head-on collision between him and Eddie Pierre-Louis getting to the second level.
It's gonna make me very happy. It's gonna have to be that because if that guy, if he gets loose and Jackson Arnold's in the pocket, imagine that guy. Imagine that guy just running through and just getting after Jackson. I don't even want to think about it.
No, I don't want to think about it. Going back to it though, like I said, I do expect OU to win. I do not expect them to cover. I think it'll be a closer game, much like last time Tulane was in Norman, but it won't be as high scoring. I expect like a 31-17 type game. Well, that would be a cover. I expect like a 28-17 type game from Oklahoma. So
okay, I can, as long as we win.
That's also true. We could win 2-0, and I would be fine with it, but I'd be content. So
a win's a win. Which means our defense is awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
So, what do we think? Like with Sawchuk, like, are we thinking we're just gonna wait like we had in the past? Like he's just not gonna. It's not gonna happen until later in the season.
My thoughts on Sawchuk
is with Sawchuk right now.
I think he is a patient, find the hole and hit it type running back. And I think he's trying to be too patient and things aren't developing. We're not getting any push up front. And he can't find a lane to run through.
Came in, it was a lot different for the running game. So that's kind of my thing with putting in the freshmen. I think they're just more talented than the older guys that we have. So you need to put Eddie Pierre-Louis out there because just see what he has. Maybe put one of the other ones out there. Put Akinkumi out there. Fuck it.
He's got a foot injury. I completely agree with you.
Better than what we got.
But the biggest problem is a redshirt freshman like Josh Bates up there at center, calling the plays, not calling the plays, but calling the assignments and being verbal for everything. You can't necessarily also surround him with two true freshmen, even if they are better players, because missed assignments are going to be even more of a problem. If Branson Hickman is healthy, sorry, I got the beer burps. If Branson Hickman is healthy, I would expect definitely Eddie Pierre-Louis to be playing, but maybe even another freshman, just because you can get more continuity in your offensive line, and you can allow for Branson Hickman to talk them through things as the play is going, or as they're getting to the line. But with Josh Bates, he's got Jacob Sexton playing left guard. We can't kick him out the tackle because Sexton is having to walk him through every assignment. He's having to walk him through the ID. He's having to walk him through everything because he doesn't have it yet, if he'll ever get it. You know what I mean? And I expected so much more out of Josh Bates, not necessarily this year, just in general. And I still hope he can get it together because he is my prototypical, like stereotypical center that I like. It's just a fucking thick ass mauler of a dude. But fuck, man, if you don't have the mental strain for it, if you don't have the capacity to get up there and see what the defense is doing and be able to understand what's going on, you can't play. And the reason you saw Caden Green last year, I believe wholeheartedly, is because he had a 3-year starter in Andrew Rain right next to him. I can walk him through things as a starter. So, I don't know. I expect better performances. I'm hopeful for better performances, and I want this offense to have 100% faith in themselves, 100% confidence in themselves as Tennessee comes to town next week. Not only because I want them to win, but I will be there, and I don't feel like hitting a tree on my way home. So,
would you be surprised? Worst case scenario, they bench Arnold. Would you rather have Hawkins out there or Casey Thompson, the guy that has more experience?
I think it depends on the situation of the game.
Like offensive line's playing well, they're doing what they're supposed to do.
Michael Hawkins. If we're down, if it's a situation where Jackson's getting benched and they got to see what they have, I want Hawkins.
Let me clarify. I don't think he's going to get benched. I think he's going to be fine. But just like worst case scenario.
If it's due to injury,
yeah,
Casey Thompson. If it's due to poor performance, Michael Hawkins. That's how I answer that question.
Okay.
So,
JJ
if he can fucking stay healthy and catch a fucking football, maybe he'll play.
Yeah.
I just want Nick Anderson back. God damn it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways, any other thoughts on this game from you before we roll into any of the games?
No, we can just go to the next game.
Okay. So big games on the dock this week. College Game Day is heading to Columbia, South Carolina. Number 16 ranked LSU is taking on 2-0 South Carolina. South Carolina coming off just a fucking beatdown of Mark Stoops in Kentucky. LSU obviously lost. Was it their opener? Their opener.
USC.
Yeah, it's a USC. Won last week.
Didn't look great last week.
Last week. They pulled away at the very end. They really took off at the end. I think South Carolina is a surprising 2-0 to most people. I expected better out of Kentucky, but then again, South Carolina's only really played one true team, and that's Kentucky. So, I think
it's like LSU's just kind of walking into a hornet's nest. I mean,
it does feel that way. I think South Carolina's going to be able to run the ball. Rocket Sanders is a monster, man.
Well, I think South Carolina's defense is going to, we talked about, LSU potentially having the best offensive line in college football, having, probably a top 5 pick in Will Campbell at left tackle. But have you seen Dylan Stewart, their freshman edge rusher?
Yeah.
That guy, he's a monster.
He could
probably the best bend I've seen from a defensive end or like an edge rusher since like Von Miller, maybe.
Yeah, it's what you hope to see from PJ.
I mean, maybe. I don't know. I'll have to see it to believe it with PJ at this point because I thought he would be a factor this year.
Yeah, I know.
Has been hurt.
Fucking Hail Mary situations. He was hurt coming out of camp, but I don't know.
Well, when you've got guys that are just more experienced, you just put them out there because you know what you're going to get out of.
Playing well. Trace Ford's playing really well. So, need to stop talking about you. Any protection for the game? I'm gonna roll with the hot hand, and plus I'm a huge Shane Beamer guy. I'm gonna take South Carolina to win this one at home.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's not one of those where we're just kind of drinking the Kool-Aid, and after seeing what South Carolina did to Kentucky, it's like you would think that they're going to be rolling in hot. They're going to gain a lot more confidence from that, but I think Nussmeier's a better quarterback than anything that Kentucky has currently.
Yeah.
Nakiran Lacey got hurt. I don't know if he's playing, but he did get hurt last week.
Yeah.
But they still have, stud wide receivers. It's LSU. They're always going to have stud wide receivers, so they should be able to be fine there. I'm going to roll with South Carolina as well just because I really want Brian Kelly to get fired, so I want him to lose every game because I'm with everybody else that he doesn't fit LSU. All right, he's not family. All right, so get him out. Also, I do like Shane Beamer too. So
I do have a question for you as the resident LSU guy. they had a lot of problems on defense, especially in the secondary last year. They brought in pretty much an entirely new defensive coaching staff. They portaled in a bunch of players, especially in the back end. They have guys like Harold Perkins and stuff like that up front. Do you think their defense is that much improved?
No.
Okay.
I think Harold Perkins has gotten worse too because they're not utilizing him correctly. He's not Stutzman. Like he's a pure like he rushes the quarterback. Like he's not an off the ball linebacker. Like he's got to line up on the edge. He just doesn't do well in protection. He does better stopping the run and rushing after the quarterback. Yeah. And I don't know. It's not looking good for him after his freshman season where he was a sensation the past 2 years. I don't know. They're just not utilizing him correctly. But he also, if he's going to be that kind of a linebacker, if he's going to be drafted in the first or second round, he's going to learn. He's got to have to learn to, pass coverage. He's going to have to learn to do everything. Right now, I guess your number one linebacker off the board is probably Stutzman.
I did see a mock draft of him going at 19 to Atlanta.
Yeah, that makes sense. Or I guess Barrett Carter, but I would still probably take Stutzman because he can do it all, and he's just been in college football for a long time, and
he has very high IQ.
Yeah,
we're also biased, so
extreme bias. Yeah. But even if I'm looking at it, I'd probably still take Stutzman just from the overall production. He's only gotten better and better and better. Mm-hmm.
Completely agree. Next game I want to go ahead.
As far as like the LSU South Carolina game, I really want to watch Dylan Stewart line up against Will Campbell because I'm sensing a little bit of overratedness in LSU's offensive line. I watched that USC game.
Wasn't great.
Look good. They didn't look good last week either. So I don't know. Brian Kelly's probably on his way out. It's the same thing. I hate him so much.
He's a motherfucker, man. I hate him and Chip. Both him and Chip Kelly. I just can't fucking stand him.
Chip Kelly?
Yeah.
I don't have as much of a problem with Chip as I do with Brian.
He's never coached a team you're a fan of, I guess. It's part of it.
Okay.
Moving on, next game was maybe not seen as anything super important, but then week 0 and week 1 happened, and now it seems very, very interesting. The Memphis Tigers are heading into Doak Campbell to take on 0-2 Florida State. Memphis at 2-0 was picked as one of the top group of 5 teams in the country coming into the season. Quarterback Hennigan, 469 yards, 3 touchdowns on the season. Their running backs running the fuck out the ball. Florida State can't move it past the fucking cockroach. Like, they can't generate anything offensively, much like Oklahoma. And now they're coming off. Yeah. And they're coming off, especially the defensive line, which everyone thought was going to be fan-fucking-tastic. Coming off 2 straight losses, coming off a bye week. I don't know if you saw the water gun video, but it was pretty fucking funny. Did you see it?
Funny. Yeah,
it was funny. It just seems like there's some fucking shenanigans going over there with Mike Norvell and the Seminoles, but I would expect a bounce back here from Florida State. Now, I don't know what a bounce back looks like. Is that 13 points? Is that 15 points? Like, that's kind of what we're talking about right now. DJU obviously has struggled his entire career with consistency and being able to throw the ball down the field.
I think a lot of it is just off. I mean, I kind of feel bad for DJ at this point. I kind of want Florida State to win just because I feel bad for DJ and I want him to. At some point, you got to feel bad for the kid. You just have no soul if you don't.
I mean, I feel bad for Tua. I don't feel bad for DJ.
I kind of feel bad for DJ. They're talking shit about his family now. It's just like, I always found it kind of weird. If you start to dog on a guy's family,
that's when it gets a little too far.
Like I think his dad posted something about his like brother getting baptized, and they were like, "Yeah, your son fucking blows at football. Like your whole family blows." I know it's fucked. It's fun. You're going to hell for laughing, by the way.
I hope so. I belong there, dude.
But no, I mean the entire offense is just absolute dog shit. So. I mean, it's not all on DJU. I mean, his tight end couldn't catch the ball against Boston College. So, I don't know. Memphis probably should win this one. But I just have to see it to believe it with Florida State. I think it's possible for them to be able to stage it, like to have a bounce back. But their season's over, so they'd be playing for just a bowl game at this point.
The best bowl game they can get into. Yeah.
Yeah. Mike North, that defensive line has not been what we thought it was going to be. So.
Moving on here, sneaky good game, and I don't know if it's just them getting a little bit overhyped because of what they did to Florida State, or if they're genuinely good. Bill O'Brien's Boston College squad's going into Columbia, Missouri to take on number 6, dude. Number 6 ranked Missouri. Obviously, Missouri, Brady Cook, Theo Weiss, fucking Luther Burden, Caden Green. They got a decent defense over there. Thomas Castellanos. Is it Tyler Ward? Is that the running back for Boston College? Something Ward. They have a potent ground attack. He's very mobile. They like to move the pocket. They like to get him in space. Yeah, I know. K-State's fucking beating the shit out of Arizona right now.
It's bad.
Yeah, is K-State a wagon, dude?
They've just been like a sneaky
favorite.
They've been a sneaky good program since Bill Snyder turned that thing around.
Is that Chris Klieman is there, right? Because Lance Leipold's Kansas, right?
Yep.
Two like fantastic coaches in the state of Kansas, Lance Leipold and Chris Klieman.
Is Kansas football back?
I think so. Makes me happy. I appreciate seeing that, especially now that we don't have to fucking play Kansas State.
I'll tell you this. Kryptonite. How much is Missouri's favored by 17, correct?
14.5 is the line with ESPN.
14.5. They should win by 3 scores. I mean, they've just got the better overall talent. I like Thomas Castellanos a lot. I think he's fun to watch whenever, he's just got it going. But I like a lot of what Bill O'Brien does with his like offensive scheme, like the way they run the ball. They got the former running back for Florida State. I can't think of his name, but he's really good. Whether he's catching the ball out of the backfield, whether he's catching the ball out of the backfield or when they're setting up wide zones. I mean, just overall. Why do we talk about other like offenses that we love to watch? Why can't Oklahoma have that?
I wish Oklahoma, and look, this is not me stealing anything because I completely agree with what he says. Eichert Layman, Gabe Eichert talks nonstop about OU running wide zone or outside zone. It's the greatest run concept in all of football.
When you got the right lineman, I guess.
If you have agile, athletic offensive linemen, yes. And OU does. They recruit really well there. Yeah. If you can't generate power, beat them with fucking speed. Look at Tulane.
It's true.
That's all I got to say.
Well, what do we think? Would it be a shocker if this game was close to Missouri-Boston College?
It wouldn't be a shocker, but I don't expect it.
Yeah. Ooh.
I think Boston College is a good like experienced and sound football team. I just think Missouri is much more talented at just about every position.
Yeah. Bill O'Brien's got that squad rolling right now.
Old butt chin O'Brien, man.
Yeah.
He's got them boys moving.
Hey, who has the most receiving yards for Missouri?
Theo Weiss.
Yeah. Not Luther Burden.
No, surprise. Brady Cook's only got 1 touchdown this year.
Yeah, I mean he's not that good. He's fun to watch, like whenever
I'm glad
he's like mobile and athletic, but
him and Quinn Ewers just feel like average ass quarterbacks, right?
I can't say that about Quinn Ewers now. He's playing really good this season, dude.
I don't know that he's playing that well.
No, did you not watch that game last week against Michigan? He threw. Yeah, I mean he had a couple like head scratchers. That's Quinn Ewers' experience, but he's played a lot better this season.
His average per attempt is 6 yards.
Well, yeah, because their offensive line's not great, so he's got to get the ball out quick, and he's got to do intermediate or short throws.
That and also Sark likes to scheme running backs out the backfield a lot, get them in space, get things going.
Yeah, but I think Missouri should win this game easily.
I agree. Like I said, I wouldn't be shocked if it was close, but I do expect Missouri. I would honestly lean Missouri to cover 14.5.
Yeah, I think so. I think they beat that.
Roughly around 20.
I think it's a 21 point difference.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd agree. And what I'm excited to see, but it's odd that it's at this time of year. Week 3 Civil War.
Yeah.
Oregon State. I mean, I'm glad they keep the game going. Looking at you, Oklahoma State. I'm glad they're keeping the rivalry going. The Apple Cup's also still being played this year. So looking at you, Oklahoma State. I think it's going to be a fantastic game. Oregon has struggled out the gate. They haven't been able to really get things going offensively. Defensively, they looked fucking horrendous. They look bad defensively.
They scored 37 points last week.
Yeah, but it's not. It doesn't seem like
it's their defense that you should be worried about.
It is what I'm most worried about, yes. But I think that there's cause for concern with the offense because they can't run the ball. Dylan Gabriel's he can put the ball anywhere on the field as long as it's not too deep.
Jordan James had 102 rushing. What was their team
rushing? Boise State. I guess they couldn't do it against fucking. Yeah, he might be the best running back in college football.
Yeah, I mean they had 109 yards rushing on 36 attempts. Evan Stewart's looked good. They got to get Tez Johnson going. I mean, if you want that offense to be explosive, you need Tez Johnson to be. You need to get him the ball.
I think Oregon has some of the same issues that OU does. I don't think they can force power up front or generate power up front.
Well, they did lose their center. They lost a lot of players on defense too. They had to kind of go to the portal.
Yeah, no, that is true. That's very true.
I think Oregon's going to win the game. I
do too.
I think it's going to be a higher scoring game too.
Over under is 49.5. Would you take the over?
I would take the over in that game. I think with the way that Oregon's defense looks now, and if they're going to win games and can still be like a contender, like in the top 5 or the top 10, they're just going to have to score. You can get that with Dylan Gabriel. I mean, look what happened last season at Oklahoma when our defense had a bunch of injuries and started deteriorating. He was able to be efficient, and we were able to score touchdowns. So
yeah, for sure.
I think Oregon probably overrated now. They're gonna have to figure some stuff out defensively, but I think they should still win this game.
I think they're gonna start getting things rolling. You're right. Their biggest problem is their defense. They just so many pieces that they lost. They have to. I mean, starting safety, a couple starting corners, one of their backers, off defensive line. I mean, they lost depth at every position. Not only depth, but they lost dudes at every position or every level of defense. So it has a really, really tough effect on you. One that I'm just not realizing is an away game. Notre Dame coming off the loss to Northern Illinois. They're rolling into West Lafayette, Indiana. Take on the Boilermakers of Purdue. A team historically known for beating the shit out of teams they shouldn't at home. So now I think Notre Dame's going to be pissed. I think that defense is going to come out with their hair on fire. I think they're going to run the fuck out of the ball with Julian Love, and I think Notre Dame wins. But don't be surprised if the Boilermakers of Purdue make this a fucking dogfight. You look up in the fourth quarter, and it's like 17-13. Purdue's up, and you have no idea what happened.
Ooh, I've got an upset alert. So my upset game of the week, UNT goes into Lubbock
to go against Texas Tech. Okay.
Which I like that. NCAA 25, I dog walked that team with Chandler Morris. Yeah. UNT 2-0. Ragsdale, pretty solid running back. He hasn't necessarily been there. I think it's been Harris who is their leading rusher right now, but watch out for Damon Ward. He's a senior, so last year. Chandler Morris, I think he's going to throw all over this Texas Tech defense. Texas Tech looks awful, dude.
Do you see the total for this game?
It's
has it at crazy. 69.5, dude.
Yeah.
I'd probably take the over.
I'd probably take North Texas to cover too. I mean, maybe not win the game. I've got it as my upset of the week. I think UNT is going to go in there. I think the boys of Denton are We're doing this for our blue-haired friends. We're
Yeah.
gonna beat that Raider rash. All right. We've got the mean green rash.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
Yeah, but that's my upset game of the week.
I like it. Other games to mention, we got Texas A&M, Florida. We'll see. I don't really have any thoughts on that. DJ Lagway. Billy Napier did say DJ Lagway and Graham Mertz are both going to play. I think Billy Napier just wants to be fired.
So breaking news. Dun, dun, dun. Graham Mertz is going to start.
Really?
Yeah.
You think Billy Napier just wants to be shot at this point?
I think he just wants the $22 million and dip out.
Yeah. Oh, the Apple Cup is this weekend as well. Okay, so we do get the Apple Cup this weekend. Sorry.
We have a very important game to cover, though.
And that is?
Alabama's going into Camp Randall. Take on Wisconsin.
What you're talking about. I thought you were talking about the old Colorado State.
Yeah, that's also going to be an important game that we need to watch out for.
It will be.
Watch out. We got Ball State going to Miami, but let's talk about. I really want to talk about this game just for a second.
Yeah, of course.
I like Luke Fickell. I think he's a good coach. Fickell. They don't have. What is Wisconsin known for on offense when in terms of producing NFL talent, running backs? I mean, it's about it. They're just going to have to run the ball down Alabama's throat
in order
to win this game. I think they can. I mean, I don't know if Alabama's defense is great. I mean, their corners have been getting exposed last week almost. I mean, they ended up winning the game, and they won it convincingly. What was the final score? It was 42-16, but that first half didn't look good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think Wisconsin, they're just going to have to play hard-nosed defense. They're going to have to shake up Jalen Milroe, who I haven't really seen. I thought he was going to take strides under Kalen DeBoer, and there's still a lot of season left, so I think he can. But right now, I mean, they're
it hasn't been the jump you expected.
Yeah.
We'll say that.
Yeah. I mean, Alabama's currently favored 16.5. So Wisconsin, I mean, that would be a pretty massive upset.
Yeah.
But that fourth quarter, 7 minutes left in the game. If we got a tie game or if it's even within like one score, that place is going to be absolutely like insane.
Yeah.
And jump around is going to be crazy. I mean, it's going to be tough. Like, I don't expect. I mean, I guess you should expect Alabama to just go in there and absolutely beat the brakes off of Wisconsin. But I don't know. Luke Fickell's a good coach. I mean, he had Cincinnati in the playoffs against them, and I mean, God, it was a low-scoring game. It was like 14-6. I think you'll have a game plan. That was.
I don't know that it was 14-6
in the playoffs a few years back.
The final?
Yeah. Wasn't it?
No.
Alabama versus Cincinnati.
27-6. Okay, so I mean, roughly, yeah. I mean,
well, they scored, I think, a couple touchdowns.
They got 10 in the fourth quarter. Yeah. No, it was a close. Fuck, I don't remember it being. It was 17-3 at halftime. It was a 17-3 game going into the fourth quarter, or 17-6 game going into the fourth. I mean, it certainly wasn't over.
Well, yeah, they had fucking Desmond Ridder, so of course they weren't going to win that game.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. What are your thoughts? What are we thinking?
I mean, I expect Alabama to roll.
I'm kind of a Badger fan this year.
Are you?
Enough. Yeah.
Is there another team in Wisconsin you'd like to root for?
Just the Badgers.
Okay. Yeah. No, you can go fuck yourself too.
I like Tawee Walker.
I do fucking love Tawee Walker. No, I mean, I expect Alabama to roll, but I do agree. I think it'll be a dogfight for at least the first half. I think you get through the first half and maybe Alabama kind of pulls away, much like they did last week against USF. But it's not going to be easy. It's not a walk in the park. That's a Big Ten West. Well, I mean, Big Ten. There's no divisions in Big Ten anymore, but there's a hard-nosed 3 yards in a cloud of dust type Big Ten football team, and Tawee Walker is gonna impose some fucking punishment on the Alabama secondary and those linebackers. So I think it'll be a fun game. I'll be at work thinking about different ways to kill myself. But
I also like the name Ches Malusi, their running back.
Ooh, Ches all name team?
Yeah.
All name Ches team for sure.
Tyler Van Dyke.
I never bought into the Tyler Van Dyke hype back at Miami when he blew up.
No one did.
I never saw it, and then
did anybody really buy into it?
ESPN did, but ESPN buys into fucking anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think it's gonna be a fun weekend though. As always, college football is one of the most entertaining products you can ever watch. So I think it'll be a fun weekend. We do have Colorado State. Colorado State's been coming out talking some shit, saying they left a lot of it on the field last year. A little bit of
forward material for Mr. Travis Hunter.
Yeah,
I thought I saw the things where they talk shit about Travis Hunter. I might have been. They probably did.
Yeah, I would assume that they probably did. I'd expect a fight. Do I really give a shit? No. I'd like to see Colorado lose just because it makes me laugh when they do. But
this guy hates fun. He doesn't
like Deion Sanders. I do hate fun. We're gonna get into. I just don't like what they're doing. Man. That's the thing. I do hate fun, and we'll get into a little bit more of my fun hatred later. But bad vibes around the Colorado program. I'd like to see Colorado State win. I just don't think it's really feasible. They're not a good team. Colorado's not a good team either, but I think they're better and much better. So I'd expect Colorado to win, but could be a fun one to cut on. Just kind of in the background. UCF TCU is also tomorrow night, 6:30 on Fox. Could be a fun one to watch. I think the afternoon slate. Week 3 is always like your it's almost like a week 0. It's week 0 more games. So you get a little bit, but nothing too sustenance. So I think we only have one ranked matchup. Well, I guess we have Arizona, Kansas State, but the only other ranked matchup we have this year is Missouri, Boston College. So or this week. So I think it'll be a fun weekend. But I am ready. No, I'm not. Malik Willis, our starting quarterback. I am ready to go ahead and talk some NFL ball, though. I know you want to lead this one off, so I'm gonna go ahead and let you take it away.
Well, we can talk about last night's game to start it off. Bills 31, Dolphins 10 in Miami. Prayers for Tua. That kind of sucks. I watched it happen live. Didn't look good.
No.
I mean,
what are your thoughts on the Al Michaels thing? Sorry, I know I said I'll let you take it away, but did you hear the Al Michaels comment saying the irony in the fact that it was Damar Hamlin that he hit? Yeah.
It's kind of funny because it is very ironic.
It is kind of funny.
Could you imagine the story that ESPN puts out if that actually were the case? Like it was Damar. Like I mean, that's just it's like a Disney movie waiting to happen.
Yeah, I know. They're gonna get The Rock to play like Josh Allen.
Yeah, I guess it's good. I guess it's good that the Dolphins lost this game because they always start out hot. Like especially the last 2 seasons, they've started out hot and then things just kind of go like south for them pretty quickly. Yeah, the Bills, 31-10. They had complete control of this game. Their defense is still really good, even though they lose pieces like Stephon Diggs. And then they also lost Tre'Davious White. They've had to do some rebuilding, and a lot of people probably were not too high on the Bills this season. Turns out they're still a good team because they have a guy like Josh Allen who's what other quarterback would you rather have obviously Patrick Mahomes, and that's probably it.
Jordan Love.
Josh Allen, you're crazy. I mean, I know you're biased, but like in reality, Josh Allen's probably the second best quarterback.
No, he certainly is. He's QB2 in the NFL right now.
Yeah. And he's going to be robbed of being able to of a chance to win the Super Bowl because of Patrick Mahomes. So, yeah, I hope he wins one. I'm a big Josh Allen fan.
I'd like to see the Bills win a Super Bowl. That'd be entertaining.
This team is still really good. I mean, they dominated that game. It didn't even feel close. I mean, after they scored the first touchdown, Miami was able to respond with a touchdown of their own, but just, I don't know, eye test. You watch the game and, I mean, yeah. No, the Bills are still really good, and they're good at running the ball. They've got 3 liable running backs.
James Cook, Cold.
And Ray Davis.
I loved Ray Davis at Kentucky last year, man. I loved Ray Davis at Kentucky. Yeah. But I'm a sucker for the 5'10", 220-pound fucking running back that just wants to just wants to run through your chest. That's some P. Ryan type guy.
He also had Josh Allen had a glove on. I guess he hurt his hand. So his middle finger's taped. So yeah, something to keep your eye on about.
So if he's Josh gonna flip people off, is he like this or?
That's probably what he's gonna have to do.
I'll pick one of the same.
Yeah. I wonder what's gonna happen with Tua at this point.
Do you think retirement's the right answer?
It's not my call, not my decision. I mean,
100%.
I don't know. I mean, he's gotten paid at this point. It's up to him. So we'll see what ends up transpiring with that. But yeah, Bill's defense is still good even without Matt Milano, and then their other linebacker ended up getting hurt and going to the locker room, so they had to play the rookie from Clemson. But let's take a look at the remaining schedule for the Bills. They should beat the Jaguars. Ravens is going to be a tough game because it's in Baltimore. We'll see how this game.
Back-to-back road games.
Yeah,
Baltimore, Houston, and
it's going to be tough. They might go. It's either going to be 2-1 or 1-2, but I think the Bills, they should go 2-1 in that game. Unless it's the Dolphins are just that bad. I don't really think that's the case. I mean, now they're going to show. I mean, with Skylar Thompson out there at QB, they're going to have to scheme something up if they want to win games. But I don't think the Dolphins were that bad. I think the Bills just they own the Dolphins. They're 11-1 in their last 12 games against them. But yeah, I had the Bills still being a good team. So, what do you think? I know I'll give the floor to you because you are a Josh Allen hater. So
I'm not a Josh Allen hater. The turnovers piss me off, but my entire NFL fan outside of Brett Favre, the last 16 years of my NFL fandom has been predicated on the fact of a quarterback that can drop bombs, very efficient, and not turn the ball over. And so Josh Allen, it makes my stomach churn when you see the carelessness with the football. But they fucking win. So that's the biggest part, is that they fucking win. And they can win in a multitude of ways. They can run the ball. They can shut you down offensively, which is very surprising. I thought the Bills' defense was really going to fall off this year. And let
me ask you, why did you think that? Was it Tre'Davious White?
Age plus turnover. I feel like they got older and didn't necessarily get better.
But they had a 6'4" corner out there covering.
I know. And I just
that guy was massive. He looked like Kani Walker out there. He was just huge.
Yeah.
And they did well. I mean, they covered the speed that because that's the thing. Miami imposes a threat of speed when you have to play against them. They just know what they're doing.
Prayers up for Tua, but I think they have not the worst, but Tua is not a good fit for the offense that Miami wants to run. I feel like with speed and the way they want to stretch the field and go vertical and also be able to move the pocket and do things, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, I think, is a perfect fucking fit for what Miami would want to do. I just think they need someone that's able to push the ball down the field a little bit more.
He can. We've seen him do it. It's just they had a receiver out there. There was just timing issues. They had a receiver out there. It was the first interception that Tua threw. Receiver was supposed to break on his route and he didn't. And Tua he throws with anticipation. That's kind of Tua's thing. And the receiver never turned around, so it ended up getting batted, and then it was picked off. But he had a couple of those throws, and then his offensive line didn't do any help. I mean, their offensive line is in shambles right now. Armstead's hurt. Their left guard ended up getting hurt. Their offensive line is not very good. They got to figure that out.
No, Oklahoma out there, but I do think the Bills have thoroughly surprised me. I will say that. Now I'm very interested. Like I said, they got 3 straight.
Shakir looks good, dude.
Shakir does. He does.
I mean, he was throwing absolute missiles at him. I mean, it was goddamn Cold War the way he was.
And that was
threatening to throw the ball as hard as he was at fucking Shakir.
And that was one thing that I never really got. A lot of people in the offseason spent a lot of time talking about the fact that the Bills had lost so much at receiver and they were replacing so many receivers, Gabe Davis, Stephon Diggs. I figured they were going to be fine offensively. The defense is what worried me, and I was dead fucking wrong. And I figured, they can limit the turnovers and they'll be fine on offense. I figured defense is going to take some work, but man, I mean, they look as good as ever. I mean, Sean McDermott has those boys fucking rolling right now. So
Yeah, and then they should be fine next week whenever they go to play the Jaguars. We'll see how the Jaguars look in their upcoming game. We'll talk about that. But
certainly.
I mean, really, yeah, they've got some tough offenses they have to play. I mean, they got to play the Ravens, and then the Texans, and then the Jets. So I mean, the Jets, their offense is still really good. So that's three back-to-back-to-back offenses that are just gonna.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a tough stretch for them. Next game, we're gonna go into Cowboys Saints. Let's dub this the Fraud Bowl because both teams look either both teams are incredibly good or they play just stinker of a team. But yeah, Dak, he looked good. He looked good against the Browns. I think the Browns defense is still really good, but I mean, he was able to just pick them apart. And then, yeah, I'm sorry, I was taking a look at what the spread was for the game. The Saints they're going to have to get Chris Olave going in this game against that defense. So. I didn't realize Mike Zimmer, like I said last week, I didn't realize Mike Zimmer was their defensive coordinator. That's a great replacement.
Yeah.
So they're still going to be very good on defense, but they're going to have to get Chris Olave going. What do you think about this game?
First of all, doesn't Derek Carr do this to you pretty much every year?
Yeah.
One week of the year, Derek Carr is going to be.
I think I've turned on Derek Carr. I used to talk a lot of shit. I think I've turned the knob a little bit. I think I've done a 180. I think I like Derek Carr now.
I appreciate Derek Carr.
Yeah.
I appreciate Derek Carr.
I think I like him now. I think I like him.
I don't think he seems
like a good guy.
He seems like a very great guy. He really does.
I've also watched a few of his interviews, like this offseason, because I was like, hey, he's kind of a weird dude. No.
Football guy?
No, he's definitely a football guy. I've seen some of his interviews. I'm starting to like him more now. Like, he doesn't seem as weird. Like, I thought he was like another Russell Wilson, but he's not. Like, he's actually like a pretty cool dude. So that
Russell
helps.
Wilson's in the league of his fucking own.
Yeah, that's true.
You're right though. Like potential fraud bowl, I don't think so yet because I think Dallas needs to play somebody a little bit better. I think the Saints took advantage of pretty much a win that's on everybody's schedule at this point. I think the Panthers might go 0-17. They're pretty fucking bad.
Yeah.
So
good to know it wasn't Dave. Dave Canales helped Baker, but it's good to know that it wasn't all Dave Canales.
Yeah,
and that Baker's just still got it. But it's gonna be tough to fix Bryce Young. I think he's broken at this point, and the Saints definitely took advantage of it.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a very high-scoring game. I'm excited. I actually
46.5 total.
Also, we didn't even mention that that was Tom Brady's first game as a color analyst. The Cowboys
Dallas
Browns
Cleveland.
Game. Yeah. How do we think?
I think he did well. Did you see the Scott Hansen thing?
Right?
It should be Greg Olsen. I think Greg Olsen's fantastic on Fox. Yeah. I really do. I'm good.
A Greg Olsen guy.
I am too.
Also, because he's like our best tight end ever.
Yeah, and as much pain as he caused me as a Packer.
What were you saying?
I think that Dallas should come out, and I think Dallas should shut them down. You did say high scoring, 46.5.
Is this going to be another Berhalter and Tom Brady? Are they doing this game?
No, because they get the
Tom
Fox
Brady bounce
game of the week, so they'll likely get.
This was the game of the week.
Is it?
I'm pretty sure this is game of the week. That's why I started with it. Is it not?
It's at noon.
Yeah, but it's Cowboys. They're always game of the week.
Cowboys can fucking blow my fucking asshole.
I guess it'd be Bucks Lions, right?
Yeah, because it's the Fox 2:30 games. So I would assume.
No, that's a 12 o'clock game. Sorry.
Oh, is it? Is it not Rams Cardinals then? Because that's usually when they do their game of the week. Let me
Yeah,
see.
yeah. Rams. No, you're right. You're right. You're right. Sorry, this is great podcasting. I just figured Cowboys. They always get game of the week. So
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be a high scoring game, and I think it's the potential fraud bowl. Next game. You want to go on to the next game?
Yeah, go
ahead. Ravens Raiders. You mentioned it last week about the horrible punt decision by Antonio Pierce.
Yeah.
The Ravens are probably very salty about that game against the Chiefs. I think they're going to come out firing all cylinders. Antonio Pierce has the chance to lose to both Harbaugh brothers back to back. I think that's just kind of how it goes. I mean, what were you going to say? Sorry.
No, you're good. I do expect the Ravens to win, but the one thing that worries me, and you pointed out last week while we were recording, actually, the Ravens' offensive line is just so bad. And Max Crosby, I think, could have the game of his fucking career against them. And I think the Raiders have a decent enough defensive line.
And Max Crosby's going to be pissed, too, because he got bodied by Joe Alt last week.
He did. He
got bodied by a rookie.
Did you see the Joe Alt delete?
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. Fire. It's kind of fire.
That is kind of cool. And he did nerdy, really well. Really cool. He was awesome.
He did. So. I mean, it's exactly what everyone expected. You know, he was what, the 6th overall pick?
Yeah.
Tackle was
5th.
Yeah, a 5th. So it was top 5. So. That's what I expect out of Joe Alt for damn sure. So I think it's going to be a fun game. It's a 9-point spread. I don't want to get into too much about picks or anything like that because we'll get into that later. But
they're going to have to get Mark Andrews going. I know he's been hurt.
They are.
But that offense clicks the best when Mark Andrews is getting receptions.
Well, he's Lamar's true safety blanket. If everything fucking breaks down, Lamar knows I got 89 out there somewhere.
Yeah. That's true.
I think it'll be a fun game, though. I think it's sleeper game of the week because I think the Raiders can really make some noise. Now, I don't know what they're going to look like defensively or offensively against the Ravens defense, but I think that Raiders front 7 has the potential to really make some noise against how bad that Ravens offensive line is. They're going to have to keep Justice Hill in a lot to block, especially on Max Crosby's side. And he's going to have to chip. He's going to have to really play in the run game.
Henry at this point.
They do have Derrick Henry, but I mean, it's kind of to see what it is. I think it's going to be a fun game, though.
Yeah, because he wasn't able to generate any yards. I mean, he had to fight for all of his yards against Kansas City, but Kansas City also has Chris Jones out there and Karlaftis, so kind of a tough match. But, yeah, I do. This is kind of both teams that are probably pissed off, so it's going to be a very physical game. Antonio Pierce, he's going to have the boys ready to play, but I think the Ravens are going to win this game.
I agree. What's the next game you want to get into?
Next game, Browns, Jaguars. Jacksonville's probably very pissed because they should have won that game last week against the Dolphins. And,
they smoked that one.
And they should have won the game, but you remember how I told you last week they had the most Jags moment of all time, the Travis Etienne fumble that literally turned everything around. That's how it happened. I mean, I think they're going to be pissed. It's going to be at home, so
it's Trevor Bank Stadium. Did you see that?
Oh, really?
Yeah. Instead of Everbank Stadium, they're rebranding for this week. It's Trevor Bank Stadium this week.
Okay, so Trevor Lawrence to score a rushing touchdown?
I think Trevor Lawrence throws 5 interceptions and the fucking Browns win 35-0 off pick sixes. So.
Fuck. I think this was for the last game, and I totally forgot about it. Alexander Mattison, running back for the Raiders, ended up there. I guess the news broke that his wife was in labor, and so she had a kid. Yeah. So Alexander Mattison having a kid. Prop bet Alexander Mattison to score a touchdown.
He got a nice one last week.
Yeah, because he had a baby.
The ball at the backfield.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, the baby game.
Oh, the baby game is important.
Yeah.
The baby or death in the family. Those are the two. Those are the 2 touchdown games. 100%.
I'm more of like if a player has a baby, like bet them to score a touchdown.
Yeah, no, 100%.
But yeah, so Trevor Lawrence probably gonna play better, I would expect. I mean, I don't know. The Browns defense is still good. They still haven't figured out their Deshaun Watson problem just yet. Yeah.
We'll leave it at that.
Anton Harrison versus Myles Garrett. That's gonna be fun.
That is gonna be very.
I really
fun.
didn't have too many notes on this game.
Yeah,
but I do expect Jacksonville to like have a nice comeback because they're probably pissed off about the way that game ended last week.
I really, really fucking love the running back duo. I think Tank Bigsby and Trevor Etienne is like an underrated duo.
Tank Bigsby.
He's a motherfucker, man. Yeah.
Should be a fullback.
He should be, but he runs the fuck out the football.
Yeah, Trevor Etienne is just gonna have Gabe Davis too.
Yeah, Gabe Davis.
Just give us Jameis Winston. Put Jameis Winston out there.
That's all that we want. That's all that we want.
He's got to be thinking about it too. Like I know he's the ultimate vibes guy and he just wants what's best for the team, but he's got to be thinking like, hey, I can throw interceptions too. I can just make it look better.
I think he's thinking about Gumbo. I don't think he's got much else going on right now.
Yeah. He's an Alabama kid.
Yeah.
Next game, Jets Titans.
Would hope for a bounce back out of Aaron here. I can't wait to get into our picks.
I kind of worry about the Jets offensive line, and I do worry about Aaron Rodgers because, again, if you saw what Devondre Sweat did to the Bears offensive line last week, I mean, it was abuse. Like it was absolute abuse. I mean, that guy needs to be locked up and put in prison for the way he treated our center and Devin Jenkins and Ryan Bates. Yeah. And so that's what Aaron Rodgers is going to have to deal with. So he's probably thinking in the back of his head, I got to get this ball out quick because Devondre Sweat, I mean, when he gets going, it's scary because he's a massive human being. We saw him at the Red River game last year. I don't even know how we were able to control him. That's why Caden Green's one of the best freshmen I've ever seen play guard, just being able to block him.
And fucking Byron Murphy at the same time. The fact that
they're going to have to run tempo. Like, they're going to have to get him to slow down.
You have to keep him on the field.
When he gets into the backfield and he's coming down your throat, like, I mean, that's a scary sight. Speaking of coming down your throat, Shannon Sharp did release on his podcast that he is aware of what happened. And when he was talking to Ocho Cinco, he basically said, yeah, apparently he had no idea that he was Instagram living the entire thing until he got a phone call from his buddy because the phone was ringing if you saw it.
Yeah. Or if you heard it.
Yeah, if you heard it.
Wouldn't much to see. There's a lot to hear, though.
He was grunting, dude. I mean, he was going full force.
But yeah, that's what happens when a 54-year-old man's on top of you.
I don't believe
that I know from experience. Accident.
I don't believe there's. You know how many steps you have to take to Instagram Live? I know he said he's never Instagram Live before, but you know how many steps you have to take to even start an Instagram Live?
Yeah, like he just wanted to put the world on notice, and I'm still got it. That's what it was.
He does. He definitely still has it. And people like the fact that he even came up with the allegation that he was hacked, like. I mean, I get it. He has to do that because, he's got sponsors and, ESPN and everything. But, like, doesn't it make him look – he's so much cooler now, right?
What was the R-Truth comment? It's like, oh, shit, she said, please. Like,
yeah, I mean, but doesn't it, like, it makes him seem so much cooler that, like, just come out and say, yeah, like, I was having sex. I was just showing that I still got it.
Yeah, no, I think it's it's perfect because – I think he just pumped his brand up more than I think it ever was.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, no, we got way off topic.
It's okay.
I just want to throw that out there.
No, I think Shannon. I fucking love Shannon Sharp, man. I do.
It's going to be tough for the Jets offense to get going, but I do think they have a bounce back. They are favored. It's in Tennessee.
Mm-hmm. I think that's just because Will Levis is so fucking bad. I think the best thing Will Levis did last weekend was...
I think the Bears defense is just that fucking good, and they are very good at disguising. Second half, dude, you don't understand. Like, the Bears were expected to have a top 5 defense this season. Like, and Tyreek Stevenson in the second year, Jalen Johnson's still the best corner in the NFL.
Whoa.
He's better than Jair. It's not even close.
Now, I'm not even saying Jair. I'm not even bringing Jair to that. I think Jalen Ramsey's better than he is, but
Overall, as a career, yes, but Jalen's younger and he's playing better right now. He played better last season. He played better this season. But it's going to be tough for the Jets. But yeah, I had Will Levis as being taking the next step, but we'll have to see. They need Hopkins out there because when Hopkins is out there, it just changes the complete dynamic of the offense.
I agree. Sorry.
So, Aaron Rodgers is going to have to watch out for his Achilles.
Yeah. Good thing they're not playing Jalen Carter in the fucking Eagles this week.
Well, he's got Devondre Sweat, who played awesome last week.
That's true.
Could be the next big interior lineman.
I think Devondre Sweat has the potential to be the next like Ndamukong Suh. Just a big, massive fucking human being that will stop at nothing to kill whoever's in front.
We'll never have another Aaron Donald. He was just way too dominant and too good. Hopefully it's Grayson Halton. That would be sick. But like as far as like just game records, like a guy you have to plan around, Devondre Sweat he looks like he could have that potential. And they got Simmons too, Jeffrey Simmons. Don't forget about him. He was awesome last week too. Like he imposed just as much of a threat. I think that's what helps Devondre Sweat too, is having a guy that you have to double team. And Simmons. I think Simmons is the most important.
Yeah, well, it also helps Devondre Sweat standing still can fit the A, B, and C gap. So he's just that big of a fucking human being.
Looking at his freshman photos at Texas when he was like 180 pounds to where he is now is incredible.
Yeah, I know. It's insane. Next game, though, what you
got? 49ers and Vikings. I think it is very apparent that that the 49ers were completely right. The players on the defense were right, that they weren't able to do the style of defense that they have to play. Steve Wilks just wasn't able to do it last season. And it was very apparent when you watched Monday night's game.
Yeah.
They looked really good. Like they were flying around.
Did you hear what Bosa had to say?
Yeah.
About the Vikings?
Oh, no, not about the Vikings, but like what he's had to say about like in his interviews when Steve Wilks was their defensive coordinator. Nick Sorensen, who had been under the DeMeco Ryans tree, is their new defensive coordinator, and that's what they should be. They've got the players to be a very attacking style defense. Like they do multiples, so they have multiple styles. They need to be very aggressive. And they're very disguising in their defense. And that's what makes some of the best defenses in football, whether it's college or the NFL. And they're able to do that. And it's very apparent because they looked really fucking good against the Jets. And I think the Jets offense is better than what they showed. I think the 49ers defense is just that good.
I agree with both points. Now, the reason I bring up Bosa, he was saying that he thinks, and this could all just be player speak, everything pregame, getting ready, but they feel like the Vikings are a better team and better offense than what they were playing in the Jets.
They've had to go up against O'Connell before, so they know.
That is the thing. I think KOC's a hell of a fucking coach. I think Kevin O'Connell's a hell of a coach.
He's a great coach. And it's he's a Vikings coach.
Yeah, I fucking can't stand it. But same with Dan Campbell. I love Dan Campbell to death, but I fucking hate that he's a fucking lion. But anyways, I think this honestly has the making to be a really good game. Look, San Francisco's favored by 4.5. It's in Minneapolis. We know Aaron Jones just balls out against the Niners. He always breaks one, dude. Every year against the Niners, he always breaks one. God, did you see the video of him doing the skull during the interview? I want to blow my fucking brains out, dude.
That was awesome. Loved it.
I wanted to cry. I think this is going to be a really good fucking game. Look, this is the true test for Sam Darnold, though. They played the Giants last week.
Are we going to get the old Sam Darnold back?
I don't know that we get the old Sam Darnold back.
I don't think for the remainder of the season. I think the 49ers defense is just that good.
I think so, too.
Scary. And Brock Purdy's playing better, too.
Brock Purdy is. Now, there is a fear that my number one overall fantasy pick, Christian McCaffrey, might go on IR. With the whole caption thing. They said that he had his worst day today or yesterday. He was in the most pain yesterday. So not sure, but Jordan Mason's a fucking beast.
Brock Purdy's been playing him right now. Like, save him for the end of the season.
They still have Debo. They still have Kittle. They still have Juwan Jennings. They still have Brandon Ayuk.
And their offensive line's better than I thought it was going to be. I think a big portion of that is because Trent Williams is back out there, so he's kind of able to help lead charge. But, I mean, the 49ers offensive line, I think they're going to be just fine. When you got
Jake
Kyle
Moody's
Shanahan.
the kicker, too.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Jake Moody. Forget because I'm such a Robbie Gould fan that he retired.
Yeah. Heading into week 2, though, are the Niners the best team in the NFL? Or is it still, you got to say it from the Chiefs?
Chiefs. You got to knock them off.
I agree.
I'd say Chiefs, 49ers, and then the Bears.
Packers. Oh, okay. Can't be number 3 with an 0-1 record. But I think it's going to be a fantastic game, though. I think it's close for a while. I think 49ers probably pull away at the end. But I think it'll be a pretty good game. What do we got next?
Let's go with Seahawks Patriots because I don't really have anything on this game other than I wonder how quickly they're going to start Drake May.
I think that they're going to roll with Jacoby Brissett because I think he runs their offense perfectly.
So too. But
I'm saying continuously.
You have to see what you have.
Well, but I also think that they're going to want to let Drake May learn as much as he possibly can. Jacoby Brissett's a seasoned vet. He's played for a lot of different teams. He's a journeyman in the NFL. I think he runs the Patriots offense perfectly. The Patriots want to sit on the ball. They want to make the game as quick as possible. They want to get through it as quick as possible. They want to play tough, stifling defense, and they want to keep the ball out of your playmakers' hands. That's exactly what they do.
I just need Drake May to play now because I'm going to be very, very, very sad boy if he goes out there and balls out and Caleb Williams continues to struggle.
You just want to see him suck shit so you feel better about Caleb Williams? Is that what it is? Yeah. Okay.
Because I think Drake May has the potential to be one of the best, to be the best quarterback in the draft class with all the tools that he has. He's just very raw, and he's my Josh Allen. He's my Josh Allen for this draft class. Has the makings to be a very, very good quarterback if it all comes together and if they do it right. But break his confidence a little bit. Just put him out there.
Give him a little bit of Bryce Young treatment. Let me get his fucking head knocked off. What's the next game you want to get into?
Let's go ahead and go into Chargers Panthers.
You're really gonna save it for last, aren't you? To make me fucking lose my mind. Go ahead. Sorry.
We have some other games to talk about. Chargers Panthers. I think Jim Harbaugh is not going to show any mercy. I think he is going to make a statement. I think his philosophy is, hey, you need to see what your team really is. So, sorry, Panthers, but it's probably going to be a bloodbath. But I don't know. I mean, we'll see. There's just no way that I think that their line is going to be able to hold up with how bad their offensive line looked against the Saints last week. It's going to probably look just as bad for this week against the Chargers. Now, I know that the Saints have, guys like
Rashid Shaheed.
No, I'm talking about their defense. Why can't I think of his fucking name? Their linebacker.
Cam Jordan? Oh, DeMario Davis.
Yeah, DeMario Davis. Marshawn Lattimore. Yeah. Oh, they have Honey Badger too. I forget about that.
He's 48.
So, yeah. I am interested to see what Jim Harbaugh has to say after this game. That's kind of the only reason I've got this game marked down is I want to watch.
If they win by 400, I feel like the Chargers.
I don't think it's going to be that bad.
I think the Chargers are going to.
Part of me is like I'm falling for it again. Like something in the back of my mind is I'm falling for it again. Maybe just because I feel bad because of what my team and what my general manager did to that team that I kind of want to bet the Panthers, but I gotta talk myself out of it. I gotta be smart.
What's the next thing we got?
Giants Commanders.
Jane Daniels coming out party?
I don't really have anything on this game.
I don't either. I think
Daniel Jones,
Commanders win.
Daniel Jones, it's not looking good. It's not looking good. I wouldn't be surprised if it's another situation like with what happened with the Browns last week. Because you saw the stat from PFF that Deshaun Watson had 6 sacks and 0 of them were the offensive line's fault. And even the video of him going to pick up Joel Bitonio when he was on the ground and Joel Bitonio swatted his hand away. I have a feeling it could be the same thing with if Daniel Jones is just sucking shit through a straw, that it could just look bad. But the Commanders do have probably one of the worst defenses in the NFL.
Yeah.
Which
the Giants can't move the ball against the pebble. So I'd almost expect a shutout out of the fucking Commanders at this point.
Well, and they're only favored 1.5, so ESPN knows something, or not ESPN, but the odds makers. Vegas knows something that we don't for it to be such a tie. Well, because the Giants kind of owned the Commanders the past couple of years, oddly enough.
I think they're giving them a 1.5.
They need to put Tommy DeVito out there.
Yeah, fucking I know, right?
They put Tommy DeVito out there, maybe it looks a little better for the Giants, but then you can never put Daniel Jones back out there.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Weird to pay Daniel Jones $140 million, and there's no progression. It's because he has to run the ball. Like, he's at his best when he's escaping the pocket and you're designing runs for him, because it builds his confidence because he's getting down the field.
Mm-hmm.
But then he's also taking some bad hits.
They should just give Eric Gray the ball.
Clip of him running that 90-yard run and then him tripping on the turf it just replays in my head all the time. It's fantastic.
So funny. It's the best.
Yep. Bucks Lions. The Bucks have an injury problem. They had a cluster of injuries, so they're missing almost all their secondary.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have a couple of other injuries on the offense. So they're going to have a red-hot Rams team who won that game in overtime against Lions. What I still think to be – yeah, that's what I meant. I think the Rams are still going to be a good team. They have some injuries that they got to figure out as well. But I think that the Lions probably win this game. I would hope that it's Tampa Bay. But so, if I'm smart, I'm taking the Lions to win this game.
Do you think it's 7.5 because of the injuries in Tampa?
Yeah, I think so. They lost almost their entire secondary.
Yeah.
And remember, they don't have Barrett out there anymore on the edge. So.
Yeah.
And they got Vita Vea and they have Kalijah Kancey. That's the passer. That's the interior lineman, right?
Oh, I love Kalijah Kancey.
Yeah. So they should be able to try to generate some pressure, but that offensive line for the Lions is still really good.
And Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs are just fantastic.
Also, Jameson Williams finally showed that he's the real deal, that he was able to kind of step in and be the guy when Josh Reynolds is gone. But I almost expect that this offense is probably going to feed the ball more to Amon-Ra. Mm-hmm. I know there's a lot more that goes into if you're a casual watcher and you just play fantasy, you look at Amon-Ra's production last week and think, oh, he didn't do shit. Obviously, there's a lot more that goes in the wide receiver position. You got to be able to block. There's a lot more that you do as a wide receiver, but I'm sure he doesn't seem like the guy that's going to be happy with his performance because he didn't have that many yards. So I would expect probably take the over on his yards this game.
Yeah, they're going to feed him.
Knowing what we know about the Bucs secondary now, I would expect this. I probably would expect the Lions to even cover this game. I don't know. I would hope that Baker and his confidence continue. Like, if they lose this game and Baker doesn't play well, it's not going to shut his confidence. It's, hey, the Lions are still a really good fucking team, and there's just some injury problems right now. Mm-hmm. But also, I saw a stat that Jared Goff is 3-1 against the Todd Bowles defense.
Yeah.
So there's also that.
Oh, for sure.
What are we hoping for the Bucs to win? Obviously.
I mean, obviously hoping for the Bucs to win, Baker to play well. I think they have the offense that can do it. I mean, they're explosive. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin.
And they're running the ball better, too.
Yeah, Rashad White's been running it well. It could also just be the Commanders. But Baker's dealing, man. And that's the thing. Obviously, it's one game, but Baker looks like he's back. And if they're going to stay in this game, it's going to have to be a shootout. It's a 51.5 total. If it's close, I'd take the over. Or I'd expect the over to hit. That's kind of where I'd lean, but I think it's gonna be a hell of a game. The Lions probably pull away late. I would expect the Lions to cover, just because of the injuries at Tampa. But if anyone's gonna come in there and make it a close game, it's gonna be Baker. So.
Yeah. Okay. Well, next one, Rams Cardinals. Like what I mentioned earlier, the Rams kind of have an injury problem as well. Puka's out. We don't know how long Cooper Kupp can stay healthy, just given his injury history the past couple of years.
Like Drake Stoops.
Yeah, I'm a big Drake Stoops fan, but I know that they have other weapons as well.
Yeah.
Cardinals looked good against the Bills last week and look even better now, considering what the Bills did to the to the Dolphins this past Thursday. So I would expect like I said, I think the Cardinals are going to be a better team this year, and Kyler Murray looked good last week.
It's pretty much a pick 'em in this one.
Yeah, and that's kind of what the spread looks like too. But I mean, I guess if you had to pick a team, it'd be the Rams because he just is very good against the Cardinals in his career.
Yeah.
But defense for the Cardinals, I expect them to have a bounce back. That's something Jonathan Gagnon, pew, 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 pew. He's probably not going to like what his defense did in the second half of last week's game. But the Rams injured on the offensive line again, and then Fuku Nakua is going to be out. And it's going to be tough for the Rams to go into Arizona and Glendale to win that game.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a hell of a game. I think it's going to be very entertaining.
Any game that Kyler Murray's playing is going to be a hell of a game.
100%. I really hope that they can get the ball to Marvin Harrison a little bit more, though. So
yeah,
everyone's excited to see Marvin Harrison. I'd like to see him.
That's a good bet. So. That'd be a good prop bet. Marvin Harrison to score his first collegiate not collegiate, but his NFL touchdown.
Yeah,
that'd be a fun bet. Probably should feed that guy the ball more.
Probably. Yeah. I mean, he's the 4th overall pick for a reason.
Yeah, they're probably going to run the ball a lot too. I can expect them to run the ball.
James Conner get a lot of touches. I think with the vacancy that Aaron Donald's left, I think people are going to try to expose it as much as possible until the Rams prove that they can stop it. So
yeah, and I think that's also just the running game for the Lions is really good, so it's hard to stop. But Jared Verse is going to probably be a problem in this game.
Yeah,
I can expect them to show out. Their pass rush, it's a lot better than. I mean, obviously they were able to limit that Lions offense to 20 points until they got into overtime. So at the end of regulation, that's pretty good. Mm-hmm. But Sean McVay teams are very physical, so I expect it to be a physical matchup, and they're probably going to pressure Kyler. But as long as he can play good, then I think this should be a very entertaining game. Colts Packers. So Malik Willis did get the start. Jordan Love's going to be out for a little while. Dalton, are we? No. Okay. Are we nervous that Matt LaFleur isn't going to simplify the game for Malik Willis?
Actually, no. I'm really not nervous about that. Look, he's only been with the team for 2.5 weeks. I think Matt and Malik are going to spend a lot of time together and have spent a lot of time together this week, figuring out what Malik feels comfortable with. Like Matt LaFleur, that's one thing that he's been great with his entire time with Green Bay is he works with the quarterback to figure out what they feel comfortable with. Like Jaden Reed missed last couple of days of practice, or at least was limited last couple of days of practice. I think the Packers are going to have to lean on the run game. But also the Colts the Colts are exposed a little bit, man. Their top corner's down. Their top couple corners are down. They're not good in the safety room. Their best defensive back is their slot corner. So I think that the Packers can attack them. The Packers are 4 or 5 deep at receiver. Josh Jacobs is a fantastic running back. Tucker Kraft been playing great. Luke Musgrave, when he's healthy, is a matchup nightmare for any linebacker and or safety in the NFL. Outside of obviously the elite of the elite. But look, is this a game that I expect the Packers to win? Without Jordan, no. Malik Willis hasn't showed too much promise throughout his career. But is it a game the Packers can win? Absolutely. I think the Packers try to control the ball. I think they can be just fine. You're just going to have to get a lot more out of Josh Jacobs than 84 yards and no touchdowns.
Yeah, no, I forget that they do have Josh Jacobs. Like he's a punishing running back, so you probably should get the guy some more touches.
100%.
But again, like we talked about with Anthony Richardson last week, even though he had those 2 deep balls that everybody was gargling his nuts on, he did only complete 9 passes. Not trying to be an Anthony Richardson hater. Like I see the vision. I am just going to have to see more out of him, but he's got the receivers to do it now, so he should be getting the ball out. And I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I'm also kind of scared that, like, the Packers are going to be very smart with Malik Willis, and they're going to control the clock and time of possession and just lean on their defense, and I'm afraid that they're actually going to win this game. But that's why I'm hoping I see more out of Anthony Richardson this game.
Yeah.
I think they can run the ball. I think that's the weakness in the Packers defense right now is stopping the run.
Yeah,
especially
it
with
has
Jonathan
been.
Taylor.
It fucking consistently has been every fucking year. That's why you bring in a guy like Heffley. You hope that they can turn things around. Kenny Clark's still a beast. Devontae Wyatt's playing well. I just don't know at the second level. Quay Walker's been beat up this week, so I just don't know at the second level if they're really going to be good enough to stop the run, especially with someone as dynamic as Jonathan Taylor. So, I think it's going to be a very low scoring game. I think it's going to be almost fucking like Big Ten West type football. Like they're going to be running the fuck out the ball. It's going to be long drives. They're going to eat up a lot of clock. It's going to be a boring game to watch. Red zone probably won't even cut to this a whole lot, but I'm not gonna miss a fucking snap. I'm gonna tell you that. So,
as you shouldn't miss a snap. You're Packers fan.
Exactly.
Packers are weird. They let anybody just be an owner. It's this weird organization, but
well, at least we don't have crime. So,
okay, you got me. That's fair.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, we finished Packers, Colts. But anyways, okay. What's the next game we got for us?
Steelers Broncos. Justin Fields is going to get the start again. We, as Americans that love football and football guys, were absolutely robbed of the Russell Wilson revenge game.
Yeah.
I mean, could you just picture it real quick? A scenario where, the way that I see it is Russell Wilson was probably going to make a hype video that he could post on his Twitter and Instagram of him, basically showing his time in Denver and then it cutting to him in the Steelers outfit. Mm-hmm. And, it'd be his like one last chance to stick it to Sean Payton and the organization for basically not believing in him and letting him go. And then everything just kind of turns to shit in game and he thinks way too much about it and it starts getting into his head and then just completely and utterly loses the game for the Steelers.
That would be hilarious.
It's kind of what we were robbed of, but I guess if you're a Steelers fan, you would rather not that scenario happen and instead have Justin Fields out there. Right?
Yeah. No, definitely.
Also, Bo Nix could be the next Jameis Winston with the way that he plays football.
Yeah.
He kind of has that gunslinger mentality where he thinks he can make every throw and then either turns out to be awesome or turns out to be catastrophic. So that's going to be kind of an interesting game. I'm going to keep my eye on just for that.
I think it'd be fun.
Do you think Russell Wilson's going to run out in his uniform and then just like he's trying to high five a bunch of people and then just like,
still be the emergency quarterback and not play? Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
Is he going to get booed? That'd be rough. I don't think Russell Wilson could handle that.
I don't think the Broncos fans fucking care enough about him to boo him.
Yeah.
I think they're just like, that happened. It's like a really shitty like ex-girlfriend. You're just like, that didn't happen. It didn't happen. Those 2 years.
You just completely erase it from your memory.
That's exactly.
Just do the what is the movie called? With
Men in Black.
Yeah, Men in Black.
Yeah.
So that's basically what it's going to be.
Probably. Yeah. That's what I'd do if I was a Broncos fan.
Well, I'm not a Steelers fan, so I would love to see Russell Wilson go out there and actually play the game. But as a Steelers fan, if I was, I would definitely want Justin Fields to play this game.
If I was a Steelers fan, I just wouldn't even watch the offense. I just watch defensive snaps only.
TJ Watt is going to be a problem for Bo Nix. That entire defense is so good, dude. Like it's
ridiculous.
It looks like a Mike Tomlin defense.
Yeah.
So they're going to go 2-0, more than likely. I think it'll be a 2-0 game.
Oh, 100%.
But that's kind of what happens when one team has a rookie quarterback that's kind of figuring things out, and then the other has an experienced quarterback that can do just enough to get you into field goal range. Maybe score a touchdown if he can run the ball.
I don't know. If they keep starting Justin Fields, maybe even if they keep starting Russell Wilson, Chris Boswell's late. Well, yeah.
Good for me because I get a 4th-round pick.
Chris Boswell's leg's going to fall off by the bye week this year.
He'll throw
every week their bye week is.
He'll throw a few touchdowns.
You think so?
Yeah. I think he will in the
A
season.
few over what, like in set? Okay, over like a 16, so like 3 this year, or
More than that. Come on, I I think he will. And unless more than likely what's going to happen is once Russell Wilson's good to go and he's off the injured reserve and or once he's like fully healthy, they'll probably put him out there.
yeah, no,
But
for sure.
that was really the only thing I had on this game. I gotta watch up close. I just want to see what happens.
Yeah, no, I'm excited just to see how much of a shit show it's going to be.
Coach, let me go out there. I can do this for us. And Mike Tomlin's like, sit your ass down.
It's like, shut the fuck up. Did I tell you can stand? No, I didn't. So now,
Yeah.
so
Bengals Chiefs. Jamar Chase and a lot of Bengals players basically made it known as if we didn't already know that neither of these teams like each other.
Yeah,
that's fun. These teams don't like each other. It's going to be a good game. I'm also kind of worried about Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
I know he said that it was okay. I know he said his hand, whenever they were asking him about it, he said he was okay. I believe him.
Just drinking water.
It's probably not mental, but I mean, you watch like they showed the video of him basically kind of stretching the hand out and gripping it, so it probably is still bothering him to a degree. So I believe Joe Burrow when he says it's not mental and that he's okay, but I am definitely worried about him because Chris Jones gets one sack on him and he lands wrong on that hand. It's going to be another catastrophic turn of events for the Bengals, and then at that point, you got to start thinking about your future. And if Joe Burrow, with how great of a quarterback that he is, and him taking you to the Super Bowl and being a top 3 quarterback in the NFL, if he's not your best ability is availability. So,
do you think that's one BB? Do you think Burrow is propped up a little bit too much based on the Super Bowl run? Do you think he still is that caliber of quarterback?
Yes.
You think so?
Yes. Just not week 1. Week 1 and week 2. He's the kind of guy, start slow, It's like sex, You got to ease into it.
Unless you're Shannon Sharp.
Yes, exactly. Unless you're Deshaun Watson.
You don't ease into shit, dude.
He'll get into it. Jamar Chase, the basically they were, in the locker room interviewing him, and he was like, "Yeah, I don't, they don't like us, we don't like them. I want to go out there and beat them, and claim that it's still Burrowhead, which is fun. It'd be fun. It'd be very interesting if the Bengals came out and won that game.
It's a fun interdivisional rivalry.
Yeah,
it's fun.
But
kind of like Bengals, Packers.
I think the Bengals defense is still the type of defense that can limit the Chiefs offense. And like if there's going to be a team that can beat Kansas City in the regular season in the fashion that like you would like they need to play their style of football. The Bengals are that team. Like they can play their style of football and beat the Chiefs. And then they've shown that they can do it. I mean, they're 3-1 against the Chiefs when Joe Burrow was playing. So there's that. And they got to reclaim that it's Burrowhead. We might have been a little too high on Xavier Worthy to start. He did have the 2 touchdowns. The end around was sick. Yeah. But like, I mean, obviously they're going to get him more involved now that the news broke about Hollywood Brown being out for a while. That kind of sucks for him. That's a weapon that Patrick Mahomes could definitely use in this game. But like they're gonna have to get the ball to Xavier Worthy a lot more. He wasn't as awesome in the game last week. Like he had some moments, like obviously it was a blown coverage. The second touchdown that Xavier Worthy scored. I mean, it wasn't like he, 80 yards just making guys miss and like showing off his speed. But did you see what Taylor Britt had to say? The interview where he basically was like, yeah, if he's just kind of like a straight line speed kind of guy.
He weighs 128 pounds. I'll bury him. Like that's pretty much exactly what he said.
Yeah. Bulletin board material, obviously for Xavier Worthy. But I mean, he's also not wrong. Based on what happened last week. Obviously, Xavier Worthy is a much better player than that. So
he's just so dynamic in open field, man. He's so fucking fast. But I mean, they're not wrong. I mean, if you're big and physical and you can put your fucking hands on him, it's gonna be easier to move him because he does weigh 180 pounds, roughly. Like,
but he also is one of the fastest guys in the NFL right now. So if they can scheme things up for him, like it's going to be a long day for the Bengals defense.
100%.
But I am still worried about Burrow.
Yeah.
About his hand, anyways. Maybe this is the game where it looks better for him.
What worries me most about Burrow is they don't have a run game, man. They let Mixon walk, or they got rid of Mixon. Their offensive line did not play well last week, and they couldn't force anything in the run game.
They got to gel. I mean, they'll get there.
That's part of it.
I think the past 3 seasons, the Bengals have had one of the worst offensive lines. They've got a rookie at right tackle right now that's still very raw. So they've got to get him kind of adjusted to the NFL and their scheme and what they want to do. But they are like a passing team. Like they like getting their running backs on the perimeter. And Chase Brown, they're going to have to get him going. He's going to have to run the ball between the tackles, get out in space. So, I mean, that's something I'm sure, Coach Thomas has a plan for that. But I still think it's going to be a really good game.
I think it's going to be fantastic. And it's going to be a fantastic game.
I think the Bengals end up picking it up and things look better for them. Falcons-Eagles. You saw firsthand what the Eagles can do whenever they get going. We also saw firsthand how bad it can look in Atlanta after boosting them up all offseason.
I still think Kirk Cousins is severely hindered by that Achilles injury.
He's old. That takes a long time to recover from an Achilles injury. That's usually when you're an older player, that's when the Achilles, when that injury happens. But he's like mid-30s.
Yeah, mid to late 30s.
So I think it's mental for him also at this point.
That's part of it. Part of it, definitely.
You got to get Bijan going in this game.
Yeah.
You've got to be able to run the ball. Because there are holes in the Eagles defense, and Jordan Love and the Packers exposed some of what's still wrong with the Eagles defense. I like Vic Fangio a lot. He is a really good defensive coordinator, but I mean, I don't know. He's been a good defensive coordinator when he's been in good organizations that draft and develop well. The 49ers had a really, really good defense when Jim Harbaugh was the head coach there, and Fangio was a defensive coordinator, but he comes to Chicago, and then he puts together one of the best defenses in the NFL, a defense that carried that Bears team the entire season. Then he goes to Miami. Didn't really work out. Now he's with the Eagles. Maybe they just have to gel. I mean, I expect their defense to be better, but if you can get your playmakers out in space and scheme things up against this Eagles defense, we could potentially see a bounce back from the Falcons. Even, with what happened last week. The Steelers just have a really good defense. But I don't know. Should be another good game.
I expect the Eagles to roll, to be honest.
If it ends up being that, if the Eagles just completely outclass, outcoach, and outplay the Falcons, is there a chance we see Michael Penix?
I think it's going to be a pretty bad blowout. I think follow the money, right? As much as the Falcons paid him, they're going to try to get every dime out of Kirko that they can.
It's also probably not good for the team dynamic if Kirk Cousins is benched.
Yeah, plus then he's a left-handed guy too, so then you have to flip the offense completely. You got to put him in a mirror. So I think it does more harm than good right now. Unless Kirk just can't go, I think it does a little bit more harm than it does good to send Penix out there.
Where's this also? AJ Brown is questionable.
Yeah, I mean Javon Bullard put him on his fucking ass, dude.
Yeah, he's questionable. He should play. I would expect him to play, but if he plays,
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I didn't realize Saquon Barkley got 24 carries last week. That's fucking ridiculous.
Haas, dude. Guy's a monster. He fits perfect with what they want to do as well.
I know.
So, yeah. Interested to watch this game, just like every other game, because I'm a football guy. I just want to watch football. That's all I want to do.
100%.
So, but it could get pretty ugly quick. The Eagles, if they're the team that we think they're going to be this season, it could get ugly quick. I could just also see that, the Falcons defense ends up playing better. Their defense wasn't bad last week. I mean, Raheem Morris is like that defense is going to gel, especially with the pieces that they have now. So I can see them being able to limit Jalen Hurts in that offense. Maybe not the tush push, but don't get them in a situation where they're 4th and goal at the half-yard line or 4th and an inch.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Either like a blowout by the Eagles or a close win by the Falcons.
I think it's a blowout by the Eagles or a close win by the Eagles. I don't know that the Falcons necessarily win this game.
After all the hype.
Yeah,
crazy what week 1 now does to the psyche.
Yeah, it doesn't look good in Atlanta. It really does not look good in Atlanta. And I think it goes back fully to Kirk's old. It's a severe injury. It takes time, and I just don't think anybody's confident within that offense right now. I think it's the biggest problem. So the quickest way to instill confidence though is to get Bijan out in space and just let him just go to work.
Yeah, he's
also the quickest way for me to win my fantasy week. So
he's way too dynamic of a player to not get him the ball more.
100%.
Or maybe Arthur Smith
has to touch the ball more. No, he was not. Only thing Arthur Smith's on is fucking crack cocaine. He's a fucking idiot. So
offensive coordinator for the Steelers now, by the way.
Yeah, 156 yards for a quarterback. Yeah, no, I don't know, but you did save this one a lot from last because you're a fucker. It's not even a Monday night game. It's a Sunday night game. Your goddamn Chicago Bears roll into Houston and NRG and take on the seemingly red hot, especially Joe Mixon, red hot Houston Texans.
Are they red hot? They barely beat the Colts.
Yeah, but that's a divisional game. First week of the season.
That's true.
Joe Mixon's red hot. Fucking 30 carries for 100, almost 60 yards and a touchdown with no gloves. Joe Mixon's hot. Joe Mixon's in mid-season form already. What do you expect?
I'm sorry, repeat that. I had to fix my.
You're good.
What'd you say?
What do you expect from your Bears this weekend?
I basically just been playing a bunch of mental gymnastics in my head as to how we're going to win this game, and I just don't see a way that we can win this game. So I hope the defense plays well, and I hope Caleb looks better, and I hope we can run the ball. Also, we don't have a Tavontre Sweater, Jeffrey Simmons to destroy our offensive line. I don't think the Texans have that kind of player, so it should look better. But yeah, just hope Caleb looks better. Hope we can run the ball, and hope the defense can make CJ Stroud, crack under pressure.
Human. Yeah. I think it's gonna be a fun game. I think it's a fun Sunday night game. I think it's a lot of fun narratives.
Not gonna apologize for 2-0 if Caleb still doesn't look good. I'll take a win. Winning is just so much fun. So
winning is a lot more fun than losing.
But I do want Caleb to look better. I think he will. I think it'll come together for him. I'm gonna have the same opinion whether he is a Super Bowl winning quarterback, MVP, or if he's just a complete bust. It was the right decision.
Yeah. I think it was the best decision for the team, especially in the standpoint and the position they all were in. I think it's a fantastic decision. I agree with you. I think the Texans win. 6.5 point spread. We might get into that in dick pics. We'll see. We'll see who has what, but I expect the Bears to play well. That defense is good enough to keep you in just about any game this year.
I don't know if Zach Pickens is still there. He was out last week, so I'm hoping he's ready to go. We won't know until I think tomorrow. But yeah, Ryan Bates, he's going to be out this game. So I don't know who they're going to play because I'm almost positive that Nate Davis isn't going to be back. I want them to just move Braxton Jones on the inside and let the rookie be the left tackle. He just has a much higher ceiling.
Yeah.
Ain't going to happen, though.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Because we got problems at center.
Yeah. Yeah, y'all's offensive line is still the biggest problem on that team, I think. I think you get that going.
Fine, though. Darnell Wright is really good. Fantastic. Braxton Jones has been playing good at left tackle. It's just I think he just looks better at guard, in my opinion.
I think he needs to help your center out a lot at guard. I think if you kick him in one
Devin Jenkins needs to play better too. He was getting whooped.
Yeah, but I think y'all
he's our
definitely
mauler too. He's the guy that we've seen him at Oklahoma State, so we know what he's capable of. But yeah, I don't know. Just hope Keenan Allen's good to go because he's questionable as well. Hope Adunze's good to go. He's questionable.
Yeah. Y'all kind of got beat up a little bit this past weekend.
I think Keenan Allen will play.
Sure he will.
I think they're just putting him as questionable just to scare the Texans. Or no, just to make not scare the Texans, but to make the Texans think it'll be an easy win.
A little bit of San Francisco tampering situation going on, huh?
Probably.
Anything else you want to get into this game before we hop into our dick picks?
Find a way to win.
Yeah.
Go 2-0. That'd be sick. That makes your schedule look a lot more manageable, and the road to 11 wins looks a lot easier if you win this game.
Yeah, certainly.
Dick picks.
I'm gonna go ahead and I'll kick it off with my first one.
Well, let's talk about the score right now.
Oh, from last week?
Yeah.
We don't need to talk about that. We both suck shit. We'll say that. You sucked a little bit less shit than I did. You're up 2-1 right now. You got the Chicago cover. And what else was it? You got the Chicago cover.
You want to do it as a snake pick? So you go first, I go next, and go again, and then you go we do it like a snake.
Yeah, we'll snake it this week.
Okay.
So you're up 2-1. You got the Chicago cover -3.5 versus Tennessee, and the over in Washington, Tampa Bay. Only one I hit on was Arizona cover 6.5 against Buffalo. So starting this week, I'll kick it off first. I'm gonna take the Raiders to cover -9 against Baltimore.
I am very, very surprised you didn't take this one, and this one is easy for me. Saints Cowboys over, and then I'm gonna take the Packers Colts under.
Okay. That's my next one. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna take the Jets Titans under.
Jets Titans under. Okay.
And I'm gonna take the Chargers to cover -5 against Carolina.
I like that. I'm gonna take the Jags -3.5. I'm seeing 3.5.
Okay.
Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna take the Jags -3.5. And then I'm gonna take. What were yours again?
I have the under in Jets Titans. I have the Chargers to cover, and I have the Raiders to cover.
I'm gonna take San Francisco -4.5.
Okay.
And then.
Oh, you just had your 2.
Oh yeah. No.
So yeah. She said Jags to cover. Yeah. So this will be my last one. It's my 5th pick of the week. I got a few on here that I'm not sure about. I'm not gonna think that. Don't trust that or that. Scary because this number is so low, but I'm gonna take the under in Pittsburgh, Denver, 36.5.
Yeah.
It's a low number, but I just don't know that either one of those offenses. Yeah.
It's doable.
They might hit that by 36. I don't know that either team scores.
Don't do it, Sebastian. Don't do it. Just don't.
What's your last pick there, bud?
Don't do it.
Good.
Never mind. I can't bet. I can't bet on until I see what happens. I'm not going to bet on the Chicago Bears in any game until next week.
Okay.
I'll just take the Bengals +6.
Bengals +6? Okay.
I'm just going to throw it out there. That's a Hail Mary pick. probably gonna whoop me in the long run, but it's fine.
One of the other ones that I had on here was Kansas City to cover. Another one that I couldn't bring myself to because we talked about Tampa's issues. I was really going back and forth. And Tampa's
I was thinking about that
injuries. I was saying I was really going back and forth with the Tampa cover and or the over.
I was thinking the over too. So I was thinking the exact same thing. Well, no, I was thinking Lions minus 7.5 and then the over. But yeah, I was thinking about it too much. I was like, well, the Bucks offense is really good, so they could keep it within a field goal. Anything could happen in that game, but I do like the over in that one as well.
Yeah,
but I don't like betting too much because I like Baker and I
don't want it to piss me off. Yeah.
Okay. Make sure to send me those two.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely will. I think that's gonna do it. I think that's gonna do it for Pigskin Podcast Season 2, Episode 6. Is there anything else you wanted to hit?
What about like a college? Like maybe not like dick pics, but like
pick of the week?
Yeah. I had my upset of the week with UNT. Do you have an upset of the week?
You did have your upset of the week. Let me hop back in there real quick. Let me pull up the college games. Scores.
The Ball State versus Miami.
I'm taking Kent State over Tennessee. No, I'm playing.
Purdue.
No, I hyped Purdue up, but I don't think it ends up happening.
They absolutely beat the brakes off of Indiana.
They did. State. Yeah, exactly. Upset of the week, man. That's tough. If we did this yesterday, I would have took UNLV, but god damn it. I would have looked so smart. I'm gonna roll with Memphis. I think the Tigers get it done. All right. So we got what was your upset again? That's right, UNT.
Texas Tech in Lubbock. Just like a Hail Mary. I'm in Denton, so
you gotta do it for the one time. But sorry, I'm writing this down so I can get it here. Yeah, like I said, I think that's gonna be
love South Carolina.
And LSU. Yeah. I think it's gonna be a fucking hell of a game, dude. It's gonna be fantastic. I just don't know that I trust that South Carolina squad enough to do it. But I do love that. So 6-point spread, according to ESPN. I do love that.
You need to have him get Brian Kelly out of there.
That's the only reason you want
Shane Beamer.
That's the only reason you think it's gonna happen is because you want it to happen. You want Brian Kelly gone.
Let's do it after the OU game. Then let's blow out LSU while Brian Kelly's still there.
Fair enough. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's going to go ahead and do it. This has been Pigskin Podcast Season 2, Episode 6. As always, please like, comment, subshare. Like, comment, subscribe, share. I'm very tired. Okay, I just took an exam before we did this, and I did not do well. Sorry, Dad. But yeah, this is going to be a fun episode. I'll get this out Saturday morning for your viewing pleasure in case you don't want to listen to Lee Corso talking circles, if he even knows what a circle is anymore, as much as it pains me. But yeah, I think that's going to do it. Is there anything else you want to say before we get out of here?
No, man.
All right. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.